Greetings, Tezos Nation. I'm Stu from the Tezos Commons. Joining me today is Joab Garza, founder of Gif.Games and Teztopia, the massively ambitious gaming project helping Tezos stake its claim in the metaverse. Today, we have some very, very special prizes on offer. We'll be giving away 3 Battle Unit NFTs for use in Teztopia Battles, the new and extremely cool play-to-earn strategy game just about to be unleashed upon the metaverse, to 3 of our live stream viewers. If you'd like one of those lucky viewers to be you, which you should, keep an ear out for the keyword later on during the stream. And of course, if you have any questions for Joab that you'd like me to ask, please add them in the chat anytime, and we'll get to as many as we can before we wrap up. Hi, Joab. How are things in Florida?
Beautiful and sunny, man. So nice. It's such great weather.
Great.
Yeah.
To get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to first get involved in the blockchain game?
Yeah, for sure. I started off as an NFT artist, so I was creating essentially what were Gif.Games. They were little mini games that ran at a fast pace, and so they were like anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds long, and like just frogs jumping on lily pads, and you had to get the 3 green frogs, like stop the GIF on the 3 green frogs to make points. And so that's really how I kind of got into creating NFTs and creating the artwork for different things. And one of the big influences in how I developed the concept for Tezotopia and earning yield farming NFTs and all that was with the boom of Yearn finance back in like 2020 or so, where there was a bunch of like Yearn YF, Moon YF, there was a bunch of like clones of these things, and I joined one community, and we got to just kind of like talking. Well, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a space adventure called YFO, and you had blocks of land that produced yield farm with those blocks of land, and this is kind of when NFTs were kind of on the up curve. And so I took that idea and essentially started creating the fundamentals of what would become Tezotopia. And I wasn't sure and settled on where I'd end up, because I was just creating these NFT games. But yeah, it was a journey from wanting to merge these two worlds of DeFi and NFTs, and that's where we are now.
Very cool. For those who might not be super familiar, where does Gif.Games fit into the Tezos ecosystem today? What are you working on right now?
Well, we just, if you haven't seen the announcement yet on Twitter or our Discord or Telegram, we just launched our open beta for the battle. So it's live on testnet. I welcome everyone in the Tezos community to go check it out. The link is on our Twitter post and on our blog post as well. So you can jump into testnet Tezotopia and start messing around with the battle units and getting a feel for it. But beyond that, we are working on a trading card game, and then as well the announcement of our partnership with Gavin Maloof to build a virtual Vegas. That's on the horizon as well. So we're really wanting to create an ecosystem within the Tezos blockchain of games, and we have all these resources that are used in Tezotopia, and we want to really create a lot of use cases for them, so they continue to become useful to Tezotopian players and other players, and we want to keep the momentum alive for all our tokenized resources. And we believe that creating different games and different silos to a connected ecosystem it really makes for a better experience for investors, because these are blockchain games, play to earn games, but also creating really good games goes a long way as well.
Very cool. Before we dive into those different parts of what you're working on, what can you tell us about your sort of larger vision for Teztopia?
Well, I think I touched on that. I mean, it's this. Like I said, I really want there to be an ecosystem of games. So Tezotopia is essentially the first And the larger vision for Tezotopia is to have all the elements of a real time strategy game that you can go into battles, but you can also maybe spend time being a merchant and you just trade your resources and build them and work through the economy of Tezotopia. Or there's just kind of these factions that are growing where there's like Unobtanium farmers and machinery farmers and people that just want to passively earn income in these ways. And so there's also that for people. And so we want to create different opportunities, for the level of investor or player that you are. We want to create these, different ways you can get into the game. And beyond that, we also want to make these resources valuable. So creating and launching new games is well on our roadmap and something that we're very ambitious to do this year.
Very cool. So in terms of developing those entry points, you said that you've just announced Teztopia battles, and that's going live and people can experience it. What is Teztopia battles, and why are people like me so excited to play
it? So Tezotopia battles, you take your NFT battle units and you essentially go into what's like a chessboard battlefield, and you compete for a loot box at the end of it. But there's also energy drops that are being dropped on the map that you can go around and collect. So the energy drops energy is one of our resources in Teztopia. So there's four of them: Unobtanium, energy, minerals, and machinery. And so energy in the game is being used to repair your battle units. But also there's a value attached to it. You can trade it on QuickBooSwap. So there's that play to earn element where you can be collecting these energy pods while you're battling. Or an alternate strategy, you just want to defeat your enemy and collect the loot box, which has tickets to create blocks of land or more unobtainium or other resources or artifacts to decorate your blocks of land as well. So there's so many elements to it, and it's the learning curve can take you a couple of days or more, but we have a very helpful community managing staff that is there always, and the community as well is always there ready to answer questions. So if you pop into our Discord or Telegram, feel free to ask questions.
I assume that you've played it a fair bit. What's it like to play?
To play the battles? Oh,
yeah.
The battles have improved from where we first launched them, like the alpha version, about like a month and a half ago, and so now they've become a lot more engaging. There's a lot more strategy involved, and they're fast paced. It's just a fast paced battle, and there's plenty of strategy to go into it, where I think it'll be fun for just regular gamers, but I think it'll be fun for crypto gamers that want to collect and earn as well.
How long does a battle take?
It can range from anywhere from. I've been in a battle that only lasted like 5 minutes, and I've been in ones that went on for 10 to 15 minutes. So we are trying to keep them short time frame, so people can jump back into the lobby and fight again. Really, the strategy is to have no empty lobby and always have players actively battling. So yeah, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes is probably the range that I've seen so far.
And it's easy to find people to battle.
Yeah, at the moment it has been a closed beta test. So right now we've opened the beta up to everyone, and so it should be a lot more active in there now. Before it was just like in the closed beta room, hey, I want to do a battle. Somebody jump in, let's matchmake. So there's a matchmaking process. So if you jump in and there's nobody in the lobby, you just kind of wait in the lobby until somebody pops in, and then it takes you to the battle. But now it should be a lot more active. I'm getting distracted by the comments over here on the
side. Don't look at those.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how the open beta looks. It's probably a lot more active and easier to get a battle going.
Okay. And in the version that's accessible right now, are there prizes on offer? Are there treasure chests that can be won right now?
No, because it's on testnet. So, I mean, if we did offer any loot boxes or anything, they would be testnet loot boxes. And who wants a testnet loot box anyway, right? So, we're going to wait till mainnet to, hand out the prizes and everything.
Okay. And what does the timeline look like on that?
We're hoping we're going to be doing this open beta test. And so really this is to like work out the kinks with the larger player base. We're looking anywhere to 2 to 3 weeks to have it on mainnet and fully launched, loot boxes out there and everything. And that'll be the only way you get tickets to mint blocks of land will be through the battle system. So yeah, we're looking at
So now it's like an opportunity to train, get ready.
Yeah. So we wanted to do that partially for, catching bugs, but also we want, players that have been following us for a while to also learn and train and use the battle system and be ready for battles.
Get ready for war.
Get ready for war.
This is all great stuff so far. I'm really excited to learn more. But before we dive deeper, are you ready for the world famous TezTalks lightning round?
I'm not sure, but I will check.
All right. Just before we do that, I'd like to announce. Go ahead.
No, we're zoomed in now. Okay.
Just before we do that, I'd like to announce today's keyword for the battle units we're giving away today. Today's keyword is !Tezverse. Enter the keyword !Tezverse in the live stream chat, and Nightbot will randomly select today's winners, who will announce before the end of the stream. Okay, now Job, it's lightning round time.
The lightning round.
Remember, there are no wrong answers, and this is just for fun, so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
Yes.
DC or Marvel?
Bigger Batman fan than any Marvel stuff, so DC.
A traditionalist. GIF or GIF?
Definitely GIF. I always say Gif.Games, so yeah, never Gif.Games. GIF is peanut butter.
That's true. Atez, Tezards, or Dogami?
Oh, I'm on the Atez raft for sure. And have something fun planned in Tezotopia for Atez as well.
Very cool. Is this real life or are we in a simulation?
Probably a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, what is real, Stu? What is real? So, I don't know. It's probably a bit of both. Hybrid.
True or false? Money buys happiness.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, in a roundabout way, right? Money buys freedom. Freedom is definitely a lot happier place to be in life. So,
absolutely. Name one thing you definitely want to do before you die.
Destroy the Catholic Church. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Whatever. Move on. Next question.
The last place you traveled was?
Where was the last place I traveled? Austin, Texas. Yeah.
Lovely. In 5 words or less, how would your best friend describe you?
Oof. Loud, funny, creative, and sometimes obnoxious.
Nice. And finally, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, man. I saw this on the list prior to this, and I couldn't even answer it back then.
Tough one. Right?
Yeah, it is a tough one. I'll just say the one movie that I probably watched a bunch of times is this movie called White Squall. It's like these dudes go on a ship and it gets shipwrecked or something, and it's a good one. It's a tearjerker.
An unconventional choice. I like it. Excellent answers. This concludes the Tez Talk lightning round. Now let's get back into it. You mentioned that you've teamed up with Las Vegas legend Gavin Maloof to develop something called Metsopia, which you're referring to as the entertainment capital of the metaverse. How did this huge partnership come to pass?
I help out with a peer-to-peer betting platform on Ethereum and Binance, and he's one of the advisors there. And so I essentially you got a lot closer talking to him as our advisor in that, and we have been wanting to create a metaverse with more of an entertainment place, a place to go to kind of escape and have fun games, mini games, but also just larger than life kind of experience. And so I I tapped him and asked like, hey, I mean, can you bring in your circle of of influencers and entertainers and entertainment brands? And so yeah, I mean that was pretty much how the conversations started, and he started naming people that he's connected to and what he could bring to the table, and yeah, we formed a relationship there and a partnership, and yeah, and so now we're both very excited to launch what we're dubbing the virtual Vegas experience, and bring that to the Tezos blockchain.
Cool. For those who might not know, who is Gavin Maloof? Why is his involvement such a big deal?
So Gavin Maloof and the Maloof family are pretty much a staple in Vegas. They used to own the Palms Casino, and they have connections to entertainment brands. And Gavin is part owner of the Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team, but also an entrepreneur that's had success and has the right, I guess, a connection to help take us and this metaverse to another level, and really bridge and then get to not only Metsopia out there, but also Tezotopia in the long term out there.
Okay. We've got an audience question here. Stockley would like you to explain the art piece behind you.
I'm in the apartment complex's conference room, so I have no idea what the hell's going on behind me. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like two dead bodies on a beach or something.
Very nice. Okay. Back to Gavin Maloof and Metsopia for a minute here. Obviously, gambling online it's not a new concept. We've
Right.
seen this shape up over a number of years. How will the experience of gambling in Metsopia be different from what we're used to?
So we at the onset of it, and when we launch it, we are not going to go with any of the gambling aspects in the traditional way. We will be launching a lot of play to earn mini games. In that way, there is earning involved for the players, but we got kind of a road to go before we come into compliance to be an online gambling company, and we are actually not very sure we want to go that route. But we can be on that route if we wanted to be. But we're going to go with what we know, which is play to earn, and a lot of that will be in the Metsopia virtual Vegas experience.
Okay. So what if not traditional gambling? What can people expect to be able to see and do in Metsopia?
So anything from immersing yourself with essentially what we pride ourselves in is having use case NFTs, and so some of the partnerships we're working on, you can immerse yourself in the position of a prized MMA fighter, and people can watch the fight, or you can participate in the fight, but you can also play to earn within that in a tournament style, and all to owning private islands as penthouses, right? So the fun thing that you can do with a metaverse is like it's just these multi-dimensional. It's essentially you're building the matrix, right? So you can have a door that opens up to your very own private island or tropical paradise, and so that's the idea behind like what we're going to do to personalize your dwelling places in Metsopia. I mean, it's not going to be just like I mean, man, it'd be kind of boring just walking around a virtual Bellagio or a virtual, MGM Grand. You want to really experience something new and exciting and over the top. And if you can do it virtually, why not take advantage of it? So all these things that we offer, to be in the place of a celebrity boxer or celebrity MMA fighter, or take your F1 race car around or something, a track as well. There's a lot of opportunities, and we are building the partnerships and hoping to have such a fun experience when we launch this.
So theoretically, I could fight Conor McGregor in Metsopia.
Theoretically.
Sounds great.
Yes.
We have another audience cue here from Palo Sa. What's the plan for Kogoverse?
Kogoverse. Kogoverse recently joined Gif.Games. They're a 2D metaverse. So also another expansion to this idea of and vision of creating a game ecosystem. So Kogoverse guys built a great product, and we've teamed up with them, and they've joined Gif.Games. We are going to be launching their own marketplace, so it'll be all Kogoverse on their marketplace. But aside from that, we'll also be integrating a lot of Tezotopia resources to create costumes for your Kogo, or new levels to your rooms with our resources to you spend those to create within Kogoverse. And so right now the plan is to think about new ways to integrate resources, but also really help Kogoverse get to the next level. And I am also thinking of ways to incorporate Kogoverse into Metsopia, where you see a painted graffiti on the wall and it says "Do not enter" or something, and then you just kind of take a turn, and then you're all of a sudden you're in a 2D metaverse. But just fun ideas to merge all the worlds into one, and I feel like Metsopia is going to give us that opportunity to even open a door to get into Teztopia battles or any other games that we plan to launch.
Okay. Obviously, building something like this, an important aspect is attracting people to Metsopia and to Teztopia. What steps are your team taking to build your user base and get more people to experience Teztopia and Metsopia?
And a lot of the growth that we've experienced since we've launched our own marketplace in last August has been a lot of organic growth, and it's been through collaborations, some soft marketing that we've spent on, but we are really going to go full throttle on big partnerships with major brands, and put a lot more money into marketing. Once we launch our battles onto mainnet, we are going to see a lot more invested in marketing, and not in the organic sense, but in more of getting the word out through traditional advertising, digital advertising, and major partnerships. So that's all on the horizon, and really securing these partnerships and getting their base to talk about it as well is what we feel is going to be the next phase of our growth. We are always going to continue to collaborate with Tezos projects, so that's also in the plans and in the works to. I am a big believer in a rising tide lifts all ships, and so if we are all growing together and growing the ecosystem together, we will all succeed together. So always open to collaborations. Jump into our Telegram or Discord if you have a project on Tezos and you want to collaborate. We are always open to it.
Very cool. Speaking of which, why did you decide to build this project on Tezos rather than some of the other blockchain options out there?
A question I get a lot. So it's uh, it's an opportunity, really. We are seeing a network that's growing and improving, and a community that's incredibly strong and supportive. It's so when I looked at this back in, let's see, March 2021, a year ago, I was looking at the launch of Calumet, and I was seeing all the success with Hen, and I saw really a community that was hungry for growth and a community that was open to supporting new projects. And so I wanted to build, here on Tezos, and it just seemed like the right fit. And it seems early, right? It seems like 2017 Ethereum times. It seems like we're on the precipice of something great with the Tezos blockchain, and getting the name Tezos out there.
Now that you're sort of fully ensconced in that community, in that ecosystem that you're describing, what has the experience actually been like? Has it met your expectations?
It has, and we want to be part of that growth. I mean, we see a lot of struggle in finding developers, but I feel like with any new technology, that's always going to be the problem. But we are also seeing a lot of new people come in and start learning as well, and we want to be part of that growth, and we want to encourage mentorships. Anchit, our CEO and then lead smart contract developer, he's always mentoring one new developer here or there, and open to mentoring others. And here in the future, we've had talks internally to create a kind of a workshop program to build out that developer base as well. So now that we are in the thick of it, now we want to also be contributing at a mass to help this scale.
Makes sense. We have another viewer queue. Mr. Reef Noob asks, can you tell us more about UnoVerse?
Yeah, the UnoVerse. So Unobtanium is our essentially most valuable resource token in Tezotopia. So what Reef Noob is referring to is the UnoVerse is essentially the vision of creating an ecosystem that revolves around our resource tokens. And so using Unobtanium in all our different games, from mini games to other more intricate play to earn games, is something that we want to continue to grow. And certainly using Unobtanium within Metsopia as a currency is something that's on the roadmap for us. So the UnoVerse is growing. Reef Noob.
We've obviously been hearing a lot of chatter about Web3, the metaverse, and sort of the larger shift that they're expected to drive in the global culture. What do you think it will take to make that chatter a reality?
For making the metaverse a kind of a household thing? Is that the question?
Yeah,
or?
yeah,
Yeah.
Because that's where we're looking to be headed, right?
Right. I mean, I feel like, and I think I've said this in our Telegram chat, I think like the way to create a successful metaverse is not to call it a metaverse, just kind of like trick people into it. And so, because I feel like the word metaverse comes with all these like connotations and expectations, and I got to be wearing goggles to be in here or something. The metaverse will continue to kind of experiment in the next 2 to 3 years, and eventually land on its feet and become something that is common space. I feel like it is the internet in a 3D virtual environment, and I feel like that's what it's going to become. I mean, there's going to be apps in the metaverse that you can access. There's going to be your home port in the metaverse that you keep and you customize, your avatar that you customize, which metaverse and how they integrate, uh, the technology is going to be developed so you can cross from one metaverse to another. And um, yeah, I think it's going to take, probably, 2 to 5 years to actually, become something that catches on, and everyone is on board with the metaverse. I think the moment it gets, you know, easier to access and it's mobile friendly, I think that's where the
That's the
metaverse
tipping point.
that's where the metaverse becomes,
Okay.
commonplace.
You mentioned people thinking that they need to be wearing VR goggles and that kind of stuff in order to participate. Um, Aside from things like that, do you think that people grasp the vision of metaverse based projects like Teztopia yet?
Um, I mean, I feel like the crypto crowd for sure grasps it. And I think, as NFTs become more commonplace, I feel like those will be the entry points for a lot of, normies to get into crypto will be NFTs, because that's just an easier concept to grasp. I mean, it's essentially like a certificate of authenticity is what an NFT is. And so as real world objects get connected to NFTs and the popularity grows, I feel like it's an easy segue into the metaverse and into crypto in general. So yeah, I feel like the stigma of like, oh, I got to sit here with my VR goggles will probably brush off. I mean, my niece and nephew, which are like young, 8 and teenager, so it's like they're used to Roblox, right? And they're used to like, oh, there's going to be a major event or there's going to be like a special drop happening on Roblox, and they run to their TV or their computer to jump on Roblox, and they're used to it. They're used to that kind of activity and that kind of action. Where it's going to take our generation or older a little while to get to that point where we're jumping into a virtual world to experience something entertaining or new or exclusive. And so I think the younger generation is really going to take the torch on the metaverse, and because they're already doing it.
It's perfectly natural for them, right?
Yeah.
I think for folks like us, it's things like Teztopia battles. Like if a game like that becomes popular and if it's good and if people want to do it, that's what's gonna drive people towards it, right?
Yeah, well, I also think like the earn aspect has a lot to do with it, right? You're seeing, uh, you know, real-time strategy gamers like myself get really excited about these play-to-earn games, and a lot of what Tezotopia is really like a history of all my favorite games from the past that I'm bringing in and kind of like creating this world of Tezotopia, and I even see it in our player base where people that used to play the same games that I used to play, the same real time strategy games, are jumping into Tezotopia because it has the same feel. But they're my age and they're like, well, why play games? It's kind of a waste of time. But well, I'm earning,
Mm.
so now passive income's coming in, and it makes it a lot more fun and valuable for our generation.
It's a completely different proposition, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you're playing to earn. You're playing a game to you can essentially make a career out of the game, with enough investment in it, right? So it's going to change the gaming landscape for sure, and it's already changing it. So yeah, it's an exciting industry to be a part of, and see how it's shaping out is really really cool.
I feel like it's so obvious if you have game A where you get nothing and game B where you earn,
Yeah,
the gravitating toward the one that gives you something for playing it is perfectly natural. It's inevitable, right?
right. And I feel like traditional gamers seem very resistant to play to earn, but I think it's because a lot of play to earn, and crypto in general can be a dangerous space, and you can get rug pulled, you can find yourself in some sort of Ponzi scheme. And so I feel like some of the trust kind of withers away because someone had a bad experience with crypto or bad experience with the play to earn game. And so getting over that hurdle and making it more of a mainstay and something that's here to stay will allow play to earn to be something that's very well accepted by traditional gamers. And I get it. I mean, there's a risk involved, there's an investment involved, and that's what makes it appealing to the crypto investor. And that was really our first our first move when we were creating Tezotopia, is to really target that audience of crypto investors when we launched our blocks of land, and we wanted to create value for what you were earning in the game. And so launching the battles, now you're earning something valuable and something that's been invested in, and then you can pick up on that. And so for us, launching battles is a lower price of entry, and we hope to attract traditional gamers, and especially with our partners QuickSave, who have been creating games since Sega Rally. They are very much in the space, and even play to earn is new to them. And so we're excited to partner with them, because they're teaching us the elements of traditional gaming, but we're also teaching them the elements of like what makes play to earn a little different. And it's been a fun journey, and also creating something fun, a play to earn game that's fun. I feel like is kind of the sweet spot, and we definitely want to be in that spot.
I feel like some of the fear of money becoming involved is sort of centers around the question of, is the person with the most money going to have an advantage within the game itself? Do you have mechanisms in place to keep the playing field even?
Yeah, so part of our matchmaking process, we will be uh, matching you with equal force and equal power. So if you've got powerful units, you're not going to be facing, a little enemy. You're going to be facing someone that's going to be at your level. I mean, it would be fun for no one to be in that situation, right? I mean, if you're always winning, I mean, sure, that can be fun, but like, you're not going to make it fun for the person that has a smaller army or anything
And
like
no one
that.
will
So,
want to play with you, right?
and no one will want to play with you. So we were creating an algorithm for matchmaking that'll allow you to be matched up against an equal force.
Makes sense. Is there anything about Teztopia and Metsopia and the things that you're working on that you feel like people misunderstand, that you would like them to understand more clearly?
Uh, I mean, with Metsopia, I feel like, and you had this interpretation as well, that it's just going to be this gambling scene. I mean, there's a lot more to Las Vegas than just gambling, right? There's
Of course.
entertainment, there's exclusive events, there's and then we can add our own flavor to it as well. So uh, it's an opportunity to create something that's just kind of an entertainment getaway. I mean, we want to be the entertainment capital of the metaverse, and so uh, creating that is something that we have really set our eyes on. And I think one of the misunderstandings there is like, well, I'm just, gambling, online gambling is overdone or whatever. Like, why would I do this? But there's going to be more to it than that. And it's also creating an ecosystem, and that's really, to me, is like our highest value for the company, is creating more entry points to play games that are using our tokens, that are within the ecosystem of what we're creating, which we call the UnoVerse. So it's much broader a bigger vision than just Tezotopia. It's really creating a network of games.
Cool. We're just coming to the end here. I'm going to announce the winners of the Battle Unit NFTs. The winners are KNT Industries, Paulo Sa, and Mr. Reef Noob. Congratulations to you all. To claim your battle units, just email us at social@tezoscommons.org. We'll request a screenshot for verification that you're the account owner, and we'll get your shiny new battle units over to you just as quick as we can. For those who missed out today, we remind you that there are awesome giveaways to be found frequently here on the Tezos live stream. Keep tuning in. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our social media contacts can be found at tezoscommons.org/TezTalks, and we'd love to hear from you. Joab, thanks so much for joining us today. It's always awesome to speak to the folks working behind the scenes, building awesome projects like Teztopia and Metsopia on Tezos, keeping us at the forefront of the blockchain revolution. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we sign off here?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that the open beta for Battles is launched, and if you head to our testnet link, you can find it. Yeah,
we can get there straight from Twitter. Yeah.
Yes, our latest Twitter post, we'll pin it so everyone can have access to it as well.
All right, I'm ready to give it a go. To everyone out there in Tezos land, thanks for joining us on the TezTalks live stream. I'm Stu from the Tezos Commons, and our awesome guest has been Joab Garza, founder of Gif.Games and Teztopia. Now let's go get meta.